Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Watching our cameras in Doppler 5000 very closely this morning. Some light snow and some flurries in our northern spots. I'll let you know how long that lasts and also when to expect a warm up before a big cool down.
New assault allegations. Another person has come forward in the case against a UNC Rex nurse. Why more charges could be on the way for the suspect.
And town council concerns. Kerry's tax money went to fund one leader's education. Well, this is not the only controversy to hit the town council. So glad you're with us here in the 8 o'clock hour. We always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Keely Arthur. Happy Friday to you. And it's a chilly start to Friday. And Grant, you are tracking some sleet snow mix in the northern counties right now.
That's right. So mainly north of the triangle this morning. Some of it is trying to make its way towards Durham. Maybe a few flurries sneaking towards Chapel Hill. We actually had some flurries over Raleigh earlier this morning. But now the majority of it is probably north of that warm front, closer to Hillsborough, Roxborough, Creedmoor, up towards Henderson. That's where we're seeing that light snow, maybe a sleet mix there. And then more to the east, Lewisburg might be seeing a few flurries right now. Enfield, Roanoke Rapids, up towards Murfreesboro, seeing that light snow and that sleet mix in those northern spots this morning. This is a view from Carr Lake. This has been pretty active over the past little while as the snow and sleet continues to fall there. So watch out for that this morning. Again, temperatures this afternoon only reach the 40s. We'll have increased cloud cover. It'll be a cool day, but temperatures should stay well above freezing, so we shouldn't see much accumulation. I'll talk more about those road temperatures that we're seeing across our area to let you know if it'll stick or not, and also we'll talk about how cold we'll get in the next week coming up in a bit.
All right, Grant, at 8:01, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. A handful of incidents dotting on live traffic map, but there's one I want to bring your attention to. There's one on a local road right there at Gardner Road. It just cleared a short time ago, and you can see there's no reports of any issues right there on Gardner Road. So let's take you to the northern loop of the Beltline. This is I-440 and Bridge Road. You can see those westbound lanes moving away from us at a nice steady clip this morning. But I want to widen out the view and give you a look at the entire loop of that northern section. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown between New Bern Avenue, Business 64, if you will, and Capitol Boulevard. But once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's clear sailing all the way over to Wade Avenue. So keep that in mind if you're navigating the northern loop of the Beltline. So widen out the view, looking at other major routes coming into the Wake County, Raleigh area. You're looking at a 6-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest, just a 1-minute delay for those of you coming in on I-87 in those southbound lanes. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Breaking news, one person is dead after a crash in Nash County. Highway Patrol has confirmed that the crash happened on Taylor Store Road north of Nashville just before midnight. Troopers say the driver, 25-year-old Evan Mills, ran off the road and hit trees before overturning. He was then ejected from the car and died on the scene. More charges could be on the way for a nurse accused of sexually assaulting patients at UNC Rex. Since Brian Alvarez Ortiz's appearance in court yesterday, a third person has come forward accusing him of assault. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is live at UNC Rex this morning. Sean, this new information comes as police are asking for even more victims to come forward.
And Keely, UNC Rex has also opened up a confidential phone line as well for people to come forward to them if they feel they were victimized here as well. We have information to contact both RPD and UNC Rex on our website. Just look for this story. But this is the latest information we have about the case. There are 13 charges in total related to the sexual assaults, with more expected, according to the district attorney's office. And this is a very disturbing case. The DA's office saying the victims were in a recovery room after surgery when they were allegedly assaulted by Alvarez Ortiz, who was a nurse here at the time. Raleigh police believe the incidents happened on at least 3 separate days, once in October and twice in November. UNC Rex tells us it fired Alvarez Ortiz on November 25th. Now, WRAL spoke to an attorney representing one of the victims who has concerns about how many more there could be.
If this happened to him, who else did it happen to? Because we often represent numerous victims in cases like this. There's a term in our industry, it's called cluster litigation, and we've had as many as 65 people in one case that have been victimized in an institutional, situation.
And UNC Rex provided a statement about the incident, saying in part, after it received one patient's complaint, they immediately began an investigation into Alvarez Ortiz and then reported the allegations to the NC Board of Nursing, fired him, and cooperated with RPD in its investigation. Now, Alvarez Ortiz is a Mexican citizen, but the DA's office says he was here on a legal green card, though they believe immigration may get involved now. He's due back in court at the end of the month, but it could be sooner if those charges are filed soon. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
People in Cary are calling for more transparency from town leaders. One concern is over tax money being used to pay for a council member's master's degree. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live outside the Cary town headquarters this morning. And Kelsey, there are also unanswered questions about the suspension of the town's manager.
Yes, Ken, just a lot going on here. So this morning, we're staying on top of everything that's happening here inside Cary Town Hall. Last night, town leaders got an earful from people about taxpayer dollars being used to subsidize a council member's master's degree. Financial records show the town paid $37,000 towards Mayor Pro Tem Lori Bush's degree, and she paid that money back. Emails obtained by WRAL show suspended town manager Sean Stiegel initially brought up the idea. Bush says she confirmed with the town manager, HR, and legal that tuition reimbursement was permissible. She added she learned later the proposal had not been brought up to all council members. The town says Stiegel's suspension is not related to this incident. So right now we're asking if his suspension was not related to this. Well, then what was it about? We've reached out to him several times and we're still waiting to hear back. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Kelsey, thank you. Healthcare costs for millions of Americans could be going up. Yesterday, the U.S. Senate failed to pass two bills that would have extended tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. One bill was from Democrats, the other from Republicans. Democrats have been pushing for an extension for months. Now, the subsidies are set to expire January 1st, and if nothing changes, premiums could double for many Americans.
Well, new this morning, the FDA plans to put its most serious warning on the COVID-19 vaccine. People familiar with the plan say the black box warning will appear at the top of prescribing information for medicines. It is not immediately clear whether the warning will be applied to all COVID-19 vaccines or for all age groups. The warning is intended to warn about risks such as death or life-threatening or disabling reactions. The plan is expected to be unveiled by the end of the year.
A warning ahead of the holidays. Health officials are preparing for an uptick in respiratory viruses as the holiday season gets into full swing. Doctors with the American Lung Association say there is a threat for a surge in COVID-19, flu, and RSV cases. Last year, the CDC estimated that at least 1 million people were hospitalized with respiratory illnesses and more than 70,000 died. The CDC expects this year's totals to be similar, and at least 6 deaths have already been reported in North Carolina so far. We spoke with a doctor at Duke Health, and he says an early flu season this year has led to a slight dip in vaccine rates.
I think really the big difference is an early flu season that typically in the past has translated to not as many people being fully vaccinated by the time that flu arrives. We've seen a little drop off in vaccine rates.
The CDC says that the people hospitalized last year across the country, around 1 in 3 were vaccinated. Health officials are encouraging people to use everyday methods to prevent sickness, including hand washing and regular cleaning of surfaces that are touched a lot.
Investigators are looking into new evidence about a vehicle linked to decades-old missing persons case. It was found in Nash County. The sheriff's office recovered this 1992 Pontiac Grand Am submerged in water near Old Middlesex Road and Turkey Creek. It belonged to Travis Lynch, who was reported missing back in 2003. He vanished Christmas Eve, never making it home from his girlfriend's house. Investigators are looking at this new evidence, and with the help of the FBI, of course. Anyone with information encouraged to call the sheriff's office there in Nash County.
A candidate for state senate says he's not going anywhere. That's despite President Donald Trump endorsing his opponent. Senate leader Phil Berger is being challenged by Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page. Earlier this week, the president signaled his support for Berger, but Page says he is still staying in the race. Page says instead of an endorsement, Trump called him earlier this month, offering him a job in Washington.
My response was, I appreciate the offer and the opportunity to come and work in Washington, but I believe I can be more effective and in a better capacity working with people directly in the district.
The endorsement comes weeks after Berger led the state's effort to redraw congressional districts. It's a strategy pushed by Trump to help keep Republicans in control of the U.S. House during the midterms.
Well, this morning, the Carolina Panthers are in first place in the NFC South. That's because the Tampa Bay Bucks lost last night. The Atlanta Falcons came back for a 14-point deficit with 14 minutes left in the game in Tampa Bay. The Falcons won on a 43-yard field goal when time expired. The final score 29-28. The Buccaneers are now a half game behind the Panthers for the division lead. Now, the Panthers will have a chance to extend that lead this weekend as they push for the playoffs. The Cats will be in New Orleans to face the Saints on Sunday. Kickoff of that game is around 4:25. You can watch all the action right here on Fox 50. And of course, the second part of the NFL doubleheader right here on Fox 50 Sunday starts with the Las Vegas Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. That game kicks off at 1 o'clock. And after the Panthers game, there's Sunday night football action on NBC. The Dallas Cowboys are hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Kickoff of that game is at 8:15. Of course, you can see that game on our sister station, WRAL.
Still to come, 911 calls, the new details. We are learning about the moments after a deadly crash involving 3 high school football players in Fayetteville.
Also, getting in the race. Basketball legend Michael Jordan says he is ready to move forward after settling a lawsuit with NASCAR, the roadblocks that his racing company had to overcome.
And watching our cameras closely this morning, seeing some snow and maybe some sleet out there. This is a view from Roxborough where some of that snow is falling right now. I'll show you more areas where we're seeing snow. We'll look at dual Doppler 5000 to let you know where exactly it is across our area and how long it lasts. It's coming up. We're seeing the snow sleet mix over Carr Lake this morning. You can see mainly on the right side of your screen. It's easier to see, but all across the screen we're seeing it. Quite a pretty view there. We've seen it in many spots across our area, including Franklinton, Lewisburg, up towards Roxborough. All those cameras showing stuff. You can actually view those cameras on WRAL.com. Here's dual Doppler 5000, Roxborough, Hillsborough, Creedmoor, Henderson, seeing the light snow sleet mix. Also up towards Roanoke Rapids, South Hill, South Boston seeing it. Enfield also seeing the light snow as well. So not expecting much accumulation, but dusting is possible up towards the North Carolina-Virginia border. Up to 46 in Raleigh today, 41 in Fayetteville, 41 Roxborough, 41 in Roanoke Rapids. We'll have a good bit of cloud cover as well. So a cool day, but we'll be warmer tomorrow. We'll talk more about that warm up and also a stronger cold front that'll arrive soon. That's coming up in a bit. Ken?
All right, Grant, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Boy, that northern loop of the Beltline is still looking really good right now. I-440 and Ridge Road, those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. But I want to widen out the view just a little bit and give you a look at the entire loop because we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown between Yonkers Road and Capitol Boulevard. But once you get past the Capitol Boulevard exit, it's clear sailing all the way over to Wade Avenue. I'm monitoring a crash on I-885 heading into Durham coming up. I'll take a look at the kind of delays you're looking at and maybe have a couple of alternate routes to avoid 885 right now. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, I want to show our viewers this video we've been talking about in the Pacific Northwest, specifically Washington, about the torrential rainfall they've been seeing there, the flooding. Well, this is video of the U.S. Coast Guard performing their rescue operations. Let's make this full screen so we can show you even closer. You'll see that right now it's from a helicopter's point of view where they have that cable down where they are performing that rescue. They had to use a basket to rescue 2 people who were trapped inside a flooded home in the city of Sumas. They were then transferred to a landing zone, and then they received some medical care there. We're talking about several days of heavy rainfall in that region, and dozens of roads have been closed because of the rising floodwaters. And the situation is so serious out there that Washington State is under a state of emergency. Wow,
okay, WRAL has received the 911 calls from a deadly crash that killed 3 local high school football players. It happened on October 8th in Roseville Road and Fayetteville. 3 E.E. Smith players were killed in that crash, and we now have video and 911 calls that were made that night. Several people called police and said they saw that crash. One of the calls came from an Apple Watch inside the car. It was an automated message saying the owner of the watch was in a severe crash. The driver, Diamond Monroe, is facing charges.
NASCAR reaching a settlement in an antitrust lawsuit involving basketball legend Michael Jordan. The lawsuit centered around NASCAR's refusal to grant permanent charters to Jordan's 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports. Charters are NASCAR's version of franchises. Now, after the news of the settlement, Jordan said that this was a long process and he is ready to move forward. The financial side of the settlement will not be released, but NASCAR has confirmed the charters will be permanent.
Swiss drug maker Novartis is committing to its North Carolina roots. The company broke ground on part of its $771 million expansion in Durham yesterday, adding 700 jobs with an average salary of over $110,000 a year. It reinforces the company's commitment to North Carolina, having spent the last 2 decades here. The company is also opening a new facility in Morrisville as part of this project. The state anticipates the company will add more than $3 billion to the state's economy.
Carey Academy plans to offer free education for more families moving forward. It's part of the private school's Charger Promise, which started last year. Carey Academy says it will cover the full cost of attendance for students admitted into the school if their families earn less than $100,000 a year. That includes tuition, dining, transportation, and before care and extended day programs. Families above the $100,000 threshold could also qualify for reductions. Additionally, there are stipends available to help non-tuition expenses for qualifying students.
We have a fun list of events to tell you about this weekend.
Yeah, it's time to take a look at WRAL's Out and About Best Bets. Hey, let's start with the Durham Holiday Parade. Local bands and drill teams will be making their way down Main Street, and there will be special appearances, of course, by Santa. And if you can't make it out to Durham for the parade, you can tune in to WRAL. We will be broadcasting that parade at 10 o'clock. Michelle McConaughey and I will host the broadcast. WRAL is an official community partner of that parade.
Yeah, Ken, you and I hosted that a few years ago. It was a great time. And A Christmas Carol is taking over the Durham Performing Arts Center this weekend. There are 4 performances scheduled, 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow, and then 1 on Sunday. Information on tickets can still be found on the DPAC's website.
And the first night of Hanukkah is on Sunday, and the organization Jewish for Good is hosting its Hanukkah festival that afternoon. It will include artisan vendors, crafts, and we'll have a menorah lighting. That will be at the Jewish for Good Community Center on West Cornwallis Road. That's from 2 in the afternoon until 5 p.m. For more information on weekend best bets, just go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
I'm here with meteorologist Grant Skinner. And Grant, you are tracking some snow and flurries this morning.
That's right. Some snow, maybe some sleet even in some spots this morning. That will last through around lunchtime, so I'll have to watch out for that. If you have any photos or video, make sure to send it to WRAL.com/report it. And then tomorrow, we're going to be warmer, highs in the 50s, some places in the 60s. Before very frigid air arrives on Monday. We'll talk more about that cold front here in a second. I wanted to zoom in and show you where we're seeing some of this snow right now. Hillsborough up towards Roxborough, Creedmoor, Stem, Oxford, Henderson, Franklinton, all seeing this light snow, maybe some sleet mixed in as well. Up towards Clarksville, also seeing some of that snow this morning. And then from Henderson all the way through Warrenton, Roanoke Rapids, South Hill, Emporia, Jackson, all seeing snow. Enfield, Scotland Neck. Again, some light snow, maybe a sleet mix, so it's not going to be overwhelming, but it's a nice sight to see stepping out the door this morning. Mike Jones also sent this beautiful view out of Southern Pines, a gorgeous sunrise this morning. We have a lot of stubborn cloud cover with this warm front, providing the lift for those clouds and the snow to develop this morning. Temperatures in the 30s, 34 in Raleigh, 32 in Roxborough, 37 in Fayetteville. Most everyone is above freezing. Roxborough and South Hill are right at freezing, but road temperatures are above freezing for most spots. And I think because of that, it's going to be really hard for any of this snow to kind of stick to the ground. But we could see a dusting still along the North Carolina-Virginia border. So watch out for that throughout the course of this morning. It shouldn't have too much of an impact on travel. 46 for your Friday, then Saturday a high of 57. Then look at Sunday and Monday. That's when we see that drop in temperatures with this cold front passing. Could bring some spotty rain, maybe in our southeastern spots into the end of the weekend. But that coldest air arrives on Monday. Temperatures drop to the teens into Monday morning, a high of 38 degrees. It's going to be frigid stepping out the door Monday morning and throughout the day. We finally warm up by the middle of next week. Ken?
All right, guys, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, just as I told you about 10 minutes ago. I want to zoom in on this crash on I-885 and those southbound lanes right now. You're looking at a situation where it's causing quite a bit of delays right now, almost all the way back to the I-40 interchange. So here's what it looks like. Those are the southbound lanes right now on TW Alexander Drive and 885. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out this morning. It's a situation where it might cause you a little bit of a slowdown between 3 to 5 minutes. In terms of other routes heading into Durham right now, if you're coming from Wake Forest, you're coming into Durham on Highway 98, you're looking at a 9-minute delay, just a 2-minute delay from 501 if you're coming from that northern section of our community. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Look up. One of the year's best meteor showers will peak this weekend. When and where you can watch. Plus, jumping in the race, another candidate is launching a bid for Congress next year. What she says about her goal to represent people in our area.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. It's 8:26. I'm Keely Arthur and meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Grant, we're seeing some flurries in Roxborough.
That's right. Some light snow, some flurries, even some sleet for some spots in our northern areas this morning. And this is Roxborough. You can see it falling there. We've been watching all of our cameras in our northern spots because we have this kind of light snow, sleet mix up towards Roxborough, Oxford, over towards Henderson as well, even into Warren County and Northampton and Halifax County, seeing that light snow, sleet mix this morning. This will last through around lunchtime, 1 o'clock. We'll see this continue, then it will back off. Still some lingering cloud cover. Temperatures only reach the mid-40s by this afternoon before a warm-up into Saturday. Ken?
Grant, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're going to give you a live look at I-885 north and southbound lanes. Either southbound lanes right now. There's a crash we've been monitoring right now that's causing some heavy congestion. There's a stalled vehicle right there on the shoulder of the road. Again, not causing any problems for you, but as congested as that looks right now, you're only looking at a 2-minute delay if you're using I-885 to get to I-40, and just a 3-minute delay for those of you using 885 to get into Durham this morning. Coming up, a look at some drive times on other major routes heading into the Wake County, Raleigh area.
One person is dead after a crash in Nash County. Highway Patrol has confirmed that the crash happened just north of Nashville just before midnight. Troopers say the driver, 25-year-old Evan Mills, ran off the road and hit a tree before overturning. People in Cary are questioning town leaders after taxpayer money was used to pay for a council member's college degree. Financial records show the town paid $37,000 toward Lori Bush's degree. She paid it back. Town manager Sean Stiegel is suspended. And next on Fox 50, new sexual assault allegations against.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Well, a snow sleet mix kind of falling over much of our northern spots this morning. You see it from Carr Lake. I'll let you know how long this lasts and also when to expect a big cool down in the next week.
Also, deadly overnight crash. State troopers are investigating after a man ran off the road, hit trees, and flipped his car. What we're learning about that driver.
Plus, new patient allegations. A third person has come forward in the sexual assault case against a former UNC Rex nurse. The new charges he could face.
And tuition reimbursement concerns. Cary taxpayer money going to fund one leader's education. Why this has angered community members. So glad you're with us here at 8:30 as we take this live look at Roxborough, where we've been seeing some snow flurries this morning.
If you look very closely on the screen, you can still see it just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Exactly. How much longer is this going to last, Grant?
Around lunchtime today, we'll see some light snow or a sleet mix across our area. You can see on Doppler 5000, still pretty active. Back towards Hillsboro, Burlington, up towards Yanceyville, Danville, seeing some light snow, sleet mix, Roxborough, Creedmoor. We had a brief break, but could see some more over the next 15 to 30 minutes. Henderson as well, over towards Oxford, areas of the south, seeing more of that snow and that sleet mix. Roanoke Rapids, Enfield, up towards South Hill. You had some not too long ago. It'll be quiet for a second, but you'll probably get some more light snow or sleet here in the next little while. Temperatures this morning in the 30s, 34 in Raleigh, 37 in Fayetteville, 32 in Roxborough. Could see some dusting in our northern spots, but overall accumulation is looking less likely for areas in the triangle southward. We'll talk more about how long those flurries, the light snow, sleet lasts, and also how chilly we'll get into the start of next week. It's coming up in a bit. Ken?
Hi, Grant. Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We've got a handful of incidents dotting a live traffic map this morning, but I want to bring attention to this situation on 885 in the southbound lane, not far from Ellis Road. You can see the huge delays it's causing there on I-885 in those southbound lanes, and that's what you're seeing. Those are the southbound lanes moving away from us. Those are folks trying to get to I-40 this morning. So right now, as we widen out the view, give you a look at those drive times. As congested as that looks, you're really only looking at a 2-minute delay. For those of you heading into Durham on I-885, you're just looking at a 2-minute delay as well. Other parts of Durham, in terms of major routes, the other troubled spot, Highway 98, if you're coming in from Wake Forest to Durham, you're looking at a 4-minute delay. So let's bring it back to Wake County, show you those major routes right now. And look at this, our friends in Wake Forest, usually you're in double digits this time of the morning, but on a Friday morning, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay coming in on US 1 Capitol Boulevard, and things look really good. On I-87, those southbound lanes, you're just looking at a 1-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
New this morning, a man was killed in a crash in Nash County. Authorities have identified 25-year-old Evan Mills as the dead driver. They say he was driving on Taylor Store Road around 11:45 last night. That's when his car ran off the road, overturned. We will bring you new details about this crash as we learn more.
The UNC Rex nurse accused of sexually assaulting at least 2 patients could be facing more charges. Brian Alvarez Ortiz appeared in court for the first time yesterday. WRAL's Sean Gallagher shares a 3rd victim has come forward since that appearance.
UNC Rex has opened a confidential reporting line as well, so if there are any people who feel they were victimized in this situation, they can contact them. We have numbers for both them and RPD on our website associated with this story, but this is the latest information we have right now about this case. There are 13 charges in total related to the sexual assaults, with more expected, according to the district attorney's office. But it's a disturbing case. The DA's office says the victims were in a recovery room after surgery when they were allegedly assaulted by Alvarez Ortiz, who was a nurse here at the time. Raleigh police believe incidents happened on at least 3 separate days, once in October and twice in November. UNC Rex says it fired Alvarez Ortiz on November 25th. Now, WRAL spoke to an attorney representing one of the victims who has concerns about how many more could be out there.
If this happened to him, who else did it happen to? Because we often represent numerous victims in cases like this. There's a term in our industry, it's called cluster litigation, and we've had as many as 65 people in one case that have been victimized in an institutional, situation.
UNC Rex provided a statement about the incident, saying in part, after it received one patient's complaint, they immediately began an investigation into Alvarez Ortiz and then reported the allegations to the NC Board of Nursing, fired him, and then cooperated with RPD in its investigation. Now, Alvarez Ortiz is a Mexican citizen, but according to the DA's office, he was here on a valid green card, though they think immigration may get involved now. Alvarez Ortiz is due back in court at the end of the month, though it might be sooner if more charges are filed before then. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
People in Cary want answers from town leaders over taxpayer money being used for a council member's degree and the suspension of a town manager. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the new developments and the response from town council.
There's a lot of moving parts to this situation. Today, we're staying on top of what's happening here inside Cary Town Hall. Last night, town leaders got an earful from people about taxpayer dollars being used to subsidize a council member's master's degree. Financial records show the town paid $37,000 towards Mayor Pro Tem Lori Bush's degree, and she paid that money back. Emails obtained by WRAL show suspended town manager Sean Stiegel initially brought up the idea. Bush says she confirmed with the town manager, HR, and legal that tuition reimbursement was permissible. She added she learned later the proposal had not been brought up to all council members. The town says Stiegel's suspension is not related to this incident. So now the question is, if he wasn't suspended for this incident, then what was the suspension about? We've reached out to him several times, and we're still waiting to hear back. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Well, this morning we're working to learn who was killed after being hit by a car in northern Wake County. This happened last night at the intersection of Durham Road and Peed Road. The Highway Patrol has not released any information about the people involved. We'll, of course, update you as new information comes into our newsroom.
Well, new this morning, a federal judge has issued a temporary restraining order to stop immigration officials from detaining again Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Now, this comes less than a day after he returned home to Maryland. And this is video of the rally that happened this morning. So many supporters. This all happened before he reported to an ICE field office for a check-in. Abrego Garcia was released from an immigration detention facility in Pennsylvania just before 5:30 last night. You'll remember he mistakenly was deported to a prison in El Salvador back in March. Garcia has been at the center of a case that has spotlighted President Trump's hardline immigration policies. The Trump administration repeatedly claimed Abrego Garcia is a member of the MS-13 gang, but he denies that accusation.
Students at a high school in Winston-Salem are returning to class today for the first time since a stabbing. Investigators in Forsyth County say the stabbing happened after an altercation between friends. The district attorney says the 18-year-old who survived the stabbing was trying to wrestle the knife away from his friend.
These two young men knew each other very well, rode the school bus together, had a conversation that morning, talking to each other. They were friends, which makes this even more of a tragedy.
Heartbreaking for both families. O'Neill called the incident an accident and that the student had the right to defend himself. Investigators say the whole thing started over a THC vape pen.
The race in North Carolina's 4th congressional district is getting more crowded. Durham County Commissioner Nita Alum is entering the race. There she is. She is challenging incumbent Congresswoman Valerie Foushee in the Democratic primary. Alum has been an elected official in Durham County since 2020. She previously ran for this seat in 2022.
We have representation that stays quiet in moments when we need our voice in Washington to be the loudest, that avoids conflict while our community asks for fighters.
Foushee released a statement saying, quote, "I am proud of the legislation I have supported, the votes I have taken, and the services my office has provided to constituents." The primary is in March.
Well, time now, we're coming up at 8:40. Still ahead, scary home explosion. Take a look at your screen. At least 6 people recovering from the blast caught on doorbell camera. What fire officials say triggered this.
Plus, night of shooting stars. Why this weekend's meteor shower will be one of the most spectacular sky shows of the whole year.
And heading to break, a cold start to the weekend. This is a live look at temperatures in our area. We're in for 30s right now. Meteorologist Grant Skinner on when we'll see temperatures in the teens. My goodness, can you imagine? No.
So we have some snow and some sleet in our northern spots. Looking towards the mountains, they also are seeing a rain-snow mix this morning. So some snow accumulating on the sides of the roads as well. So watch out for that this morning, especially if you're headed towards the mountains. Could still have some slick spots from the snow that fell yesterday. But temperatures thankfully getting above freezing today in Boone, 38 for the high. A rain-snow mix possible there. Asheville, Bryson City sitting in the 50s this afternoon. Now tomorrow, if you're headed towards the mountains for the weekend, in the 50s and 60s for Asheville, Bryson City, but then cooling down pretty quickly into Sunday, so watch out for that. Boone, 46 degrees with some fog possible there. Here, temperatures in the 40s today, but we will be warmer very, very briefly. Saturday will be warmer, then Sunday it starts to cool down big time. I'll let you know how chilly we'll be by Monday morning, coming up in a bit.
All right, Grant, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We want to stay in Durham just a bit, I-885 to be exact, and those southbound lanes. We're monitoring a crash that's likely in the clearing phase, but we'll still see some heavy congestion there. But, as backed up as that look, you're only looking at a 2-minute delay on those southbound lanes and just a 3-minute delay if you're using 885 to get into Durham. Coming up, we'll look at drive times on major routes heading into the Raleigh-Wake County area.
We have some breaking news here in the WRAL Live Center. There are quite a few reports out right now saying that UNC has fired the offensive coordinator, Freddie Kitchens. Actually, WRAL's Brian Murphy is in the process of trying to get more specifics on this story. But you may recall that Kitchens is a former Cleveland Browns coach. He was the interim head coach in the bowl game last year after Mac Brown left and before Bill Belichick stepped in. But he will not be joining Belichick's second season with the Tar Heels. The Heels were 4-8 this season, and their season's over. They did not qualify for the bowl games. Count on WRAL to stay with this story to get more information regarding this report.
It's a big update. At least 6 people are recovering after a home explosion in California. Now, the explosion was caught entirely on doorbell camera. Take a look at it. Wow, you can see debris sent flying into the air, even landing on nearby construction workers who were running away. The force of the blast ripped through multiple buildings, eventually sparking this fire. Now, this happened early yesterday morning in Hayward, that's near San Francisco. Some neighbors say the explosion woke them up. Others say they were lucky to escape the debris falling on their home.
I could sleep through anything, and it woke me up, and it was a big boom. And the house jumped, literally jumped.
My roof collapsed on me. And I was in bed. My husband was bringing me coffee, bless his heart. And the whole entire roof in my bedroom. And I honestly thought it was the big earthquake on the Hayward Fault.
Wow. When you see that video, it is a miracle that no one was more severely hurt. Now, fire officials say the blast was triggered after a work crew struck an underground gas line around 7 a.m. That's so dangerous. 2 hours later, crews were able to turn off the gas in the area, but the explosion still happened. The cause of all of this remains under investigation.
A scare in the air caught on camera. A skydiver's parachute deploying early. You can see it right here. He was caught on the plane's tail, dangling 15,000 feet above the ground. How scary is that? The new video comes out after the accident a few months ago in Australia. That diver was able to grab his knife and cut through all 11 lines of the backup parachute in 50 seconds.
For everyone to remain calm under pressure here?
Well, most definitely for the parachutist involved. There's a lot of options in front of you. Choosing the right ones is not always as easy as it sounds.
I'm thinking Ethan Hawke, Mission Impossible? My goodness, the skydiver was able to use his main parachute and get down safely. My goodness. The pilot then declared a Mayday call and successfully landed that aircraft. The diver only had minor injuries and has since recovered.
Ethan Hawke or Tom Cruise?
Both.
Maybe a little bit of both. Okay. The former head coach of Michigan's football team is due in court today. That's Sharon Moore. He is in custody after being arrested Wednesday. Police say they arrested Moore as part of an assault investigation at a home. At this point, no charges have been filed. Moore was also fired after Michigan leaders accused him of having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. It's not yet clear of the potential charges related to this firing.
Millbrook High School's first appearance in the state football championship game ends in heartbreak. The Wildcats fell to Huff High School from Cornelius 21-0 in the 8A title game at Keenan Stadium in Chapel Hill last night. It's the first state championship for Huff. Millbrook ends its season with a 13-1 record.
A late field goal sent Wilson Prep to a football title. Ethan Nelson hit the 28-yarder with 25 seconds left to put the Tigers ahead of Robinsonville in the 1A title game, 9-8. That was the final score. It was the first time Wilson Prep's football team has ever won a state title.
How cool is that? Well, tonight, 2 more local teams will be on the field. At 4 p.m., Middle Creek plays Watauga in the 6A title game. And at 8 p.m., Clayton plays Grimsley in the 7 7A title game. WRAL's Pat Welter will be at both games and will have live reports starting in our 6 o'clock news on WRAL.
Hey, Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Just a quick update from UNC regarding that news of firing Freddie Kitchens as offensive coordinator. The university sent out this statement saying, quote, "We want to thank Coach Kitchens and Coach Pfeiffer for their commitment and many contributions to our program and student athletes. We wish them both nothing but the best in future endeavors." And that's coming from head football coach Bill Belichick.
Thank you, Chris. The Powerball lottery jackpot for tomorrow night's drawing will be $1 billion. It's going to break that $1 billion barrier. If someone wins the jackpot this Saturday, it will be the 7th biggest grand prize in Powerball history. The cash payout option is worth $461 million, and you can watch the drawing live on WRAL tomorrow night. That's right before our 11 p.m. newscast.
Well, this weekend, the Cary JC's Christmas Parade will spread holiday cheer throughout downtown Cary. The parade is a joyful celebration, including bands, mascots, local businesses, groups, and churches. This is video of last year's celebration. This is the 46th year of the parade. The festivities start around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. WRAL will be streaming the event. You can watch it on WRAL.com, and looking forward to riding in that parade tomorrow, Keely.
Very fun. One of the year's best meteor showers will peak this weekend. We're talking about the Geminid meteor shower. I should say. You'll see the most meteors around 2 a.m. Sunday morning. If you can stay up, I know I can. I hope you can too. But if you can't, you should be able to see a pretty good sky show anytime after dark on Saturday.
Not staying up, not with 4 youngins. When they go to bed, we go to bed. We're here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with meteorologist Grant Skinner. And look at this, my goodness.
Just into our newsroom. Yeah, I know, it's snow. Some light snow, some sleet falling in our northern spots, and still seeing more of that falling this morning. This was sent in from Manson, North Carolina, up in Warren County. Clay sent this in. This was as snow was actively falling. And we could see a dusting in some spots because of some minor accumulation. For the most part, though, road temperatures have stayed above freezing, but some areas could see, again, a dusting closer to the North Carolina-Virginia border. Here's a view from Roxborough. We were seeing some of that snow falling not too long ago, and still seeing a little bit there, some light snow, and maybe some sleet mixed in. Here's Dual Doppler 5000. The majority of the snow is going to be north of Durham, up towards Roxborough, Hillsborough, possibly seeing some light snow there, and then up towards Oxford, Henderson, Warren. Warren County also seeing that snow. Up towards Warrenton, we're seeing that, and then also Enfield, Roanoke Rapids, seeing some light snow and some sleet this morning. Here's Futurecast. Let's walk through how long this lasts throughout the rest of the day today. It starts at 9:30. Maybe a sleet snow mix possible in our northern spots through around our lunchtime today, so around 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon today. And then it finally starts to back off closer to 2, 3 o'clock, and the cloud cover will work its way north. So we could see more breaks in the clouds from the triangle and point southward later today. But we won't have much time to have warming because, again, by the time we hit around 4 or 5 o'clock, the sun's already setting, so temperatures likely only making it into the 40s today. Tomorrow, though, will be warmer. So for the Durham Christmas Parade, we'll be in the 40s in the morning, so 42 by 10 a.m. by around lunchtime, right at around 50 degrees. Plenty of sunshine. Enjoy it. It should be a very, very pleasant day. And for the Cary Christmas Parade, that starts at 2 o'clock tomorrow. 55 degrees by the time it starts. We'll stay in the mid-50s tomorrow before the evening. Now, we will drop those temperatures into our Sunday with a cold front passing, a stronger cold front. The high on Sunday is 42, but we're likely going to hit that earlier in the day because the cold front will pass into the morning hours. Temperatures throughout the day will likely be very chilly, and of course it'll be breezy behind that front, so it'll feel very cold behind that cold front. And then once that front fully passes, look at the Monday morning temperatures starting in the teens across our area. 16 in Raleigh, 16 Fayetteville, 12 Roxborough, South Hill at 14, Rocky Mount at 15. Yeah, it's going to be very, very frigid, so make sure to have the layers handy. 38 is our high on Monday, so a brief warm up into the weekend, and then we'll really cool down as we head into the start of next week.
Really cool down. Thank you so much, Grant. Well, before we go to the break, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. And just ahead, we'll get another check on weather and traffic.